Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Halton.
Good morning. Welcome back to FDIC 2008. And today I would like to talk to you a little bit about the importance of meaningful and relevant training. But before I begin, I need to thank you all again for your presence here today. And I understand that a few of you may be more than just a little bit tired from attending yesterday's incredible opening ceremonies where the music and the speeches really raised the bar for inspirational fire service messages. I'm always impressed by the caliber of the men and women who agree to share on this stage. And yesterday, Father Burns started us off with a really emotionally uplifting prayer. The good Father was then followed by an incredible new mayor, Greg Ballard, an equally incredible new governor, or old governor, Mitch Daniels, great guy, very firefighter friendly. And then we got to meet the new fire marshal of the state of Indiana, our very own Chief Jimmy Greason. So big congratulations to Jimmy. He's the new state fire marshal. We then had Mike Galliano, who came up here and he really spoke from his heart about the importance of understanding who we are. And then, most importantly, this room was really graced by a true American hero yesterday. We had James O'Donnell. And we really owe James a debt of gratitude because he really sets the example of how a man should live his life in service to others. You know, I earnestly want to thank everyone who made yesterday, I believe, one of the most memorable openings of FDIC ever. Then we opened up the classrooms, and like kids in a candy store, we raced out there and we gorged ourselves on wisdom from some of the most passionate and some of the most intelligent fire instructors in the world. And we had a celebration of Bruno and Norman yesterday, which was just outrageous. I don't know whether to tap out an alarm or sector the incident, but either way, I know those two cats already have it figured out. They were just remarkable. I have one last piece of business, if you will. Forgive my indulgence here, but I've asked a few of the folks that helped put this dog and pony show together, come in from their duties this morning so we could just recognize them real quick. We couldn't do this show without the incredible leadership team we have of Lyle Hoyt and Eric Schlett. I don't know if they're probably out there making money for us, but they run this band of pirates. I don't know if they're out there. Thank you, guys. We have our world-class sales team. If you're in the room, could you just stand up? We got Joe Porter. You're in the room, Joe? Stand up, Joe. There you go. Lila Gillespie, Nancy Ucolo, Tim Tolton, Ted Billick, and Dave Caith. Are you guys in the room? Nancy? They're all out making money. I love those guys. We got our web editor, Pete Proclio. Where's Pete? Big Feet Pete with a brand new kid. Come on, Pete. Our product manager, Leaf Nevener. We got our conference coordinator, Ginger Mendola. It's her very first FDIC. There you go. Associate editors of the magazine, we got Rob Maloney, Derek Rosenfield, and our senior editor, associate editor for 18 years, Mary Jane Dittmar. Please stand up, you guys. We got our technical editor teams. We got the professor, Glenn Corbett, Skip Coleman, Mike McAvoy, and our brand new photo editor, firefighter Nate DeMarce. All stand up for us. Thank you. And of course, we got my best friend, my work partner. She always makes me say that so my wife doesn't get upset. The real boss of Fire Engineering Magazine, the executive editor, and the conference director of FDIC, Miss Diane Feldman. She's back there? Oh! I'm sorry. And you look good, kid. To everyone else who made this Fantasy Land for Firefighters come to life, my deepest thanks. Thank you so much. This is such a great show. And to all of you who spent your time, your money, and your energy to be here with us, I sincerely thank you. We really appreciate you coming. You know what drives this event? It's your thirst for knowledge. And that knowledge you take home and you turn into training. This is the Fire Department Instructors Conference. And instructors are the real leaders of the fire service, not the managers downtown in the Puzzle Palace. The leaders are in training. But we take that legalese of SOPs and the gobbledygook out of the textbooks, and we translate it into meaningful action on the fire ground. You know, I had a chance to talk to this training chief the other day, nice guy, and I asked him, what was his department doing to improve things on the fire ground? He said, Bobby, we're doing training. I said, training on what? How? He said, you know, everything, RIT, air management, command, everything. Now, I'm sure he was sincere, but I'm also sure, as I think you are, that often in our zeal to stay current, we forget what behaviors and what tools got us to the dance. Training has been and it will always be the most important part of every firefighter's life. You see, in firefighting, our training means the difference between life and death, literally. Training, real training, meaningful training, can mean life for our citizens whom we've sworn to protect and for our fellow firefighters who we love like family. Now, lack of training can result in exactly the opposite: death. Untrained and unprepared firefighters are of little use to citizens and even less use to their fellow firefighters. Now, I'm sure that the founders who founded this gathering 80 years ago would be proud to see that at FDIC, we still understand that the basics remain the true bedrock of our profession. They would be proud to see that hose loads were given just as much emphasis as the new technology like thermal imaging cameras and our modern extrication equipment. Our founders would be proud to see that we still believe that the best firefighters are our instructors. And at FDIC, we put you first. We know what makes a good chief great is how much they teach. And we know what makes a good department great is how much they train. SOPs without training can't accomplish anything. And mission statements without action are just that, words. Heroic saves and fantastic stops, those are only made possible by great firefighters, led by great firefighters. And it's easy to talk about doing things. But here at FDIC, we show each other how. And that's what makes real training. Classes and evolutions that result in confidence and discovery. Here at FDIC, we believe that like in baseball, there's no crying in training. We believe in building stronger, smarter, and healthier firefighters who understand the risks and the rewards alike and nevertheless accept the challenge. We have faith in training because we know that we are destined through training to come to an understanding of all the issues we now face. The challenges on the fireground today are changing as quickly as our technologies are changing, and the problems are always going to exceed any firefighter's capabilities to know it all. Now, to make a difference, we have to fully appreciate all those challenges and then drill and train until we can overcome them. You see, our generation is the first generation to fight fires in what's called a socio-technical environment. And what socio-technical means is that we've adapted high-risk technology in our efforts, like air packs and thermal imaging cameras, in our efforts to do our work more effectively. Now, I didn't say safely. We're the first generation to rely on this high-risk technology for our very survival. Now, how we've adapted and how we've integrated that technology in large part explains why structural firefighting has not become less dangerous and is in fact now maybe more dangerous than any other time in history. And for as long as mankind reaches beyond today, our tomorrows are going to bring us new challenges, new threats, and new dangers. And tragically, good firefighters will be lost. The fire service is always going to be dedicated to saving others and protecting our fellow firefighters. And the fire service will always need you, the instructors, to keep us one step ahead of our challenges. We know that in this room right now today, you're the very ones who are going to find the solutions to the challenges that we're struggling against. Answers that will give us the tools we need to recognize hostile fire behavior before it overcomes and consumes us. Answers to the battles that we now face with trepidation. Your dedication and study will change that fear to confidence. How do we know? Because we have seen the results from FDIC generation after generation. I know because I've fought fires with you and I've made terrible mistakes. Everyone in this room who's been on the streets knows that making a mistake to a thinking firefighter is not about shame. It's about seizing an opportunity to learn, to make changes, to understand that experience, and then to share all that lessons with others. There's no shame in making a mistake. There is shame in hiding one. There's no shame in learning from your mistakes, but there is shame in repeating it or allowing others to repeat it. Focused and intense training that results from fireground experience is going to help us to collectively decide what we consider to be operationally safe or effective practices. And a lack of experience can happen anytime in anybody's career. Because in this profession, the unknowns are infinite. No one ever has, and no one ever will know it all or have seen or done it all. This makes learning all we can from our serious fires so critical to our ability to improve. As instructors, believe it or not, you're the emotionally intelligent leaders of our fire service community. And our tactical training is catching up because of firefighters like you. You're the firefighters who aren't afraid to throw open the windows and doors when something serious happens in your towns. All of us here today are students. And consequently, because you're here today, you're also instructors, because those roles are forever bonded as one. All of you here have already made the commitment to continuous improvement. And our improvement at times will fall behind our challenges, there's no doubt. But that just ignites our passion all that much more. Fighting bullies and defeating tormentors is a lot tougher than getting along with them, but it's also a lot more rewarding. The bully, fire, would love to see us cower and be more concerned about our safety than others, but that will never happen in the American Fire Service. Being the greatest demands that we embrace our courage while humbly acknowledging our limitations, because we know that by training every day, we will overcome them. The fire service is standing together today, and we are rejecting those out there, some of them in our own ranks, who would have us deny our honor, who would have us deny our heritage and deny our legacy. We boldly train every day, reaffirming our dedication to protecting the weak, the defenseless, and we accept the responsibility to live as an example to man's highest calling, service to our fellow man. Every firefighter in this room understands that by being a firefighter, that means you have to be someone who holds life as divinely precious, as only those of you who are in this room know, because you're willing to risk your own. Train this week as real brothers and sisters and be proud and pure of character. Refuse to apologize to anyone who would have us question where we have been or where we are going. And never allow anyone ever again who belongs to this proud and righteous family to ever say again that we are killing firefighters. That is absolute nonsense. That's the most disgusting statement in our industry, and it must end now. We are not killing anyone, and we never have killed anyone. The fire service is saving everyone it can, and we're making the world a better place, and we will never stop training to be stronger, and we will never stop training to be more effective, and we will never stop becoming more and more caring. We will never stop caring deeply, because that's what firefighters do, and to do any less, to hold back even a little, would be to deny our true culture, because ours is a culture of training. Ours is a culture of heroes. Ours is a culture of service, a culture of love. Train hard, brothers and sisters. Teach hard. Live long, live well, and God bless the United States of America.